Okay, Kevin, here's another little nugget. I'm gonna try and make this one shorter and keep it to like one big idea and show like a couple examples just so we can actually focus our efforts on something. So this is our Lijang game. And there was a Junkrat later in the third round. I'm not going to do the third round. I'm going to do the first two rounds. And we're going to talk about like a combo or a strategy we can go when we do queue as DPS and tank. And it all has to do with like positionings and good places to get the enemy team into to kill them. So this first fight, this is the first fight of everything. I just wanted to make like a little side point that our team basically carried this one, and I think it's something to point out because oftentimes we're always like, oh no, our team didn't do anything, but like, I don't know, it put some optimism back into the community. But at the same time, I have another point to make, so let's go ahead and just kind of watch the fight and keep looking at our positions as the Genji kind of does all the killing. Yeah. So man, sorry. The objective is now active. So yeah, the only thing I wanted to make here is the introduction to the idea I'm going with. So if we look back at your point of view, it's a lot of target switching, and well, obviously it's hard because they're dying so fast, and it's a weird fight. You can nitpick it if you want, but I just noticed a lot of target switching, and more so like you're fighting them head on, like you're face to face with your opponent, and it's just a missed opportunity with Tracer to like find a flank route so you can get them from behind. And this is the idea that I'm going to go into today. So all I'm saying is like work more on flanks, and that'll be the idea. So my first point is at 5 minutes. So on the second map, I don't know if this is an accident or not, but we do this well. And I want to just talk about like why this push worked, just so that it's not random. You know, it's like, oh, we're just generically good. It's kind of like we understand why. So we're going to push in. There's going to be a close call on your part, but you get out safely. And then watch the positioning as I hold up here. And the whole team is pressuring them down this lane here. So we're just pressuring them. The other team's going to want to still shoot, but they're going to stay in here. And eventually you flank around and take advantage of the positioning. So watch this. We'll pause it when it happens. So going a bit slower here. So we're pushing down pretty hard here. Eventually you come around here. So this is an example of the type of stuff that I think we should be looking out for. So it's not completely clean or pretty, but it's this idea that we're holding this ground and we can push them pretty hard here and decently hard here. So they don't really want to step on point because they'll be open to us because we have the high ground. So they're going to play in this pocket here. And then you get into a position to where you can take advantage of that pocket really well. And you end up popping off here just a little bit. Especially here, we get this wedge thing where like Zenyatta's like, I have to go here. There's no other place that's safe for me. And we clean up very nicely. So that's an example. So the idea I'm making is if you look at the position that I'm at and you realize what that means for the other team, like the other team has to respect like my positioning so they don't get hit. And like the team, therefore, if you could find an opportunity rather than just kind of like bursting and doing your own thing, we'll have a lot more success. Let me show you an example of when this didn't go well for us and went well for them. This will give some, hopefully seal the deal on this whole thing. $840. So, this is when we had that whole really long stagger. I was going to have a montage of how terrible we are, but we both got picked by the hogs, staggered, whatever. Our soldier's going to go up top, and he has ult. I don't think he telegraphed this, but it shouldn't matter too much. We're pushing in through main here. Now, the enemy team has rotated to this response, and they have a Sigma kind of guarding the front, not too well, but enough. And then they have a hog on this flanky area. And then they have their team in between. And then they have Moira on the other flank. So they're kind of wrapping around us. And that is the opposite of what we do. We kind of spearhead it. So I'm going to kind of play this on 50%. You dive in. We're ulting. And it kind of clears out the point. And they don't want to play on the point anymore. But they still have us on both sides of this server room. You ult, but I want to make a note that you were safe in that location because, well, for the most part, Soldier was kind of clearing it off. So they don't even want to play there, so you were kind of safe. You do get a good kill off of it, and that's probably the positioning I would have taken too, so we could have at least had some, backup there where that Junkrat is. That was a good pick. And then it kind of tumbles from there. It's close. At this, it's just the scrum, but I'm pretty sure we lose with ults and stuff. So, in essence, what had happened was, we spearheaded through, and we were planning to kind of like go straight through onto points and maybe hold here, and they were wrapping around us. And it made it hard for us to block. So let's look in the future for ways to do kind of that wraparound, push from one end and then have a DPS from the side to where they're always in a pickle. So that's my nugget for today.